Ordinary Average Guy Podcast Show. Everybody, welcome to the Ordinary Average Guy Podcast Show, coming at you previously recorded from the Buxty Hootie Studios. Wow. Episode number 20. We made it to 20 episodes. Barry Sanders, everybody. And the first thing I got to ask you guys is, who is driving around with the windows down and radio up with the weather we have been having lately? Wow. It's incredible. And I personally really like it, but I am afraid that Mother Nature is going to be a cold-hearted whore and really flip the switch on us here, and it's going to be like 30 degrees, snowing, and we're not going to truly get the fall temperatures and atmosphere that we've all have grown to love. You know what I mean? This is the time of year where we sit and watch a movie at night, and we have the fireplace going, and we're cozy and cuddled up under a blanket. But instead, we're wearing shorts and a t-shirt and have the AC on, for crying out loud, and which I don't want to complain too much about. But I really hope we still get our little taste of fall without going straight into winter, because that is not what I'm looking forward to at all. I am a proud Wisconsinite, but winter I cannot stand. I do hate it. After Christmas, let's take this back a little bit. So I really enjoy. I'm a big fan of a white Christmas. Obviously, who doesn't love a white Christmas? Beautiful white, an early snow in the winter. An early winter snow is what I'm trying to say, where it's still white and it's not all disgusting and muddy and black. For Christmas, that's the absolute best. But then I'll tell you what, right after Christmas, winter can go away. And someday my goal is to be what do you call that, a snowbird? Where I just, soon as winter's done, soon as New Year's is done, me and the old lady are going to pack it up, and we're going to go somewhere warm for 2 months or so, January, February, maybe come back in March. Because you got to come back for the grandkids. You got to come back for the got to see the little grandbabies. I don't want to go too far from my grandbabies. Right? You know what I'm saying? But they could come visit me. When I start cashing in this podcast money, baby. Gonna buy a nice house in Florida, FLA. But anyway, I am loving the weather, and it's fantastic. October 21st, I'm recording this, and I'm driving around, windows down, radio up, just living my best life, and it doesn't get any better than that. Speaking of this time of year, the holidays. I've said it before, I'll say it again. To me personally, my holiday season starts right now. Starts with Halloween. Okay? You have a nice, fun Halloween. We roll into Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving, even though I am a huge Christmas fan, I mean, Christmas is number one. Don't kid yourself. Christmas is number one. But Thanksgiving, eating the big meal, eating the turkey, getting that tryptophan, sitting on the chair, watching football, pants are unbuckled. It's an incredible day, and you're thankful, for this great country that we live in. So Thanksgiving, definitely, we roll into Thanksgiving, then we roll into Christmas, and then we finish it off with New Year's, and then starts my 3-month-long depression. Which is why you got to take that vitamin D, huh? Throwback to last week. But anyway, we kind of maybe started this past weekend, we went to Friday night. We started off our holiday season by going into town, and there was a pumpkin fest type of deal where all these kids, I hope kids, by the way some of these looked, some of them were actually pretty cool, carving these pumpkins. But then some people were painting pumpkins, and I'm going to be honest with you. Kind of an unordinary opinion, maybe. A little early in the show. Something that's not official. It's not an official unordinary opinion. But when I think painting the pumpkin is you're taking the easy way out. You're taking the easy way out. Okay? There's nothing like carving the pumpkin. Right? You clean the guts out of it. Right? You got your little kids around the table and you're taking all the guts out of the pumpkin. You're like, you gotta, kind of be a dad about it. And then you carve the pumpkin. When you paint them, even though some of these pumpkins look pretty nice and they were painted, but I just think that might be taking the easy way out. I don't know. Send me your emails. Tell me what you think. Now, there was one pumpkin there that was painted, but it was very, very, there's actually, okay. So everything I just said, I take it all back. I take it all back because the best pumpkins at this little walk. So it was at a park. All right. And there's a pond in the middle of the park, and there's a trail around the pond. And along the trail, they put these pumpkins that people decorated. Some pumpkins were cut, and I'll be honest with you, the ones that were carved were the worst pumpkins there. The pumpkins that were painted were the best. There was a pumpkin that looked like Bingo from the hit television show Bluey. Obviously, my kids thought that was fantastic. There was another pumpkin there that was really cool. They took one pumpkin, and then they attached a bunch of little pumpkins as arms and legs and a head, and it was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. My son is a huge Ghostbusters fan, big Ghostbusters fan, and so he got a kick out of that one. And there were a couple others that were painted that looked. So obviously those took the cake. Now, if you're going to decorate the whole pumpkin like that, yeah, okay, then you got to kind of paint it. But then there were some others where it was just like painted eyes and a mouth. And that's where I'm getting at with my rant before, is if you're just going to paint eyes and a mouth on the gosh darn thing, just carve it. Carve the pumpkin. Just like our forefathers, just like the pilgrims intended. Carve the pumpkin. So we did that on Friday night. Saturday, well, I'm not going to lie to you, boys and girls. Saturday, I did a little day drinking. Oh, is there anything better than day drinking? Day drinking. There might not. It's phenomenal. And so I did some day drinking. Then we had a bonfire at nighttime. Whoo, that was fantastic. And we ordered pizza. Oh boy, that was fantastic. We where we live, we have one place that delivers, and thank God it's delicious because it's some of the best pizza I've ever eaten. And so we got some pizza, Hawaiian. I'm a big Hawaiian fan when it comes to pizza. I said that to a guy today that I like Hawaiian pizza. And he said that it was disgusting and gross. So I don't know. Am I in the minority there? Am I in the minority when it comes to Hawaiian pizza? Now I know if you're a true Italian over here, I'm an Italian. Yes, they don't put pineapple on a pizza. If you're a true Italian, you know what I'm saying? That's not a pizza, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not Italian. So I put pineapple and I put, so I'm a Hawaiian fan. We had that on Saturday night. And Sunday, watch the Packers, your Green Bay Packers, win the game with a game-winning field goal with our new kicker. So that was fun to watch. I overseeded my lawn. Right, that's that time of year. I'm a little late to the game. I think should have done that a little earlier in October, but laziness got the best of me. But I overseeded my yard. Now I'm watering the crap out of it, trying to make sure that we are in good tip-top shape for the spring. And then we, after the Packer game, our family got together and we went and out to eat for birthdays. Every time there's birthdays, we go out to eat, and we got family pictures after. My sister, who I'm going to try to get on the show here. I'm trying to get more guests on the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to get more guests on the show. My sister is going to be one of them. We had an email a while back about hobbies for women, and my sister has like every single hobby imaginable. And the most recent hobby is photography. So she's taking a lot of pictures. So she wanted to take family pictures. So we did that on Sunday. So it was just a fun-filled weekend. And this week, the kids don't have school on Thursday and Friday, so I'm going to try to play some hooky from work, or call in sick, if you know what I mean. And like on Friday or something, or at least get out of work early. And we want to take the kids to a pumpkin patch. Huh? What do you think about that? The pumpkin patch. Go get some apple cider, get some pumpkins and some gourds. And this pumpkin patch that we go to, check this out, guys. They have a pumpkin. No, it's not a pumpkin cannon. It's a corn cob cannon. So it's this big gun, and you stuff it full of corn cobs, and then you shoot the damn thing, and you try to hit targets. And so we'll do that, and then we'll do that on Friday. Then maybe Friday night we'll carve those bastards, and then get them on the front porch, and then we got trick or treating this Saturday. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's starting. The holiday season is starting. Let me ask you: do you include Halloween with the holiday season? I never did. The holidays started at Thanksgiving. 2 or 3 years ago, I made the decision to start my holiday season with Halloween, and one of the best decisions that I've ever made. Now, my wife, we even decorated for trick or treating, or not trick, for Halloween. We have a skeleton in the front yard, who the kids really adore. I mean that too. They love this skeleton. It sits in this chair, and my daughter the other day was brushing its teeth and feeding it a sandwich. So they really like the skeleton. My wife would say that I was kind of being a Scrooge because she had this big spider web, and she staked it into the grass. And I said, hey, I'm all for the decorations, but I don't want anything in the grass. Because I have a lot to do. I'm very proud of my grass, as you all know. And I didn't want anything staked into the grass, because then I wouldn't be able to mow around it properly, trim the, weed whack. I wanted to overseed my yard. I had all these plans that I wanted to do. But she did it anyway. She staked it in the grass, and I was like, why'd you do that? She said, I just mow around it. So I tried. I tried my hardest to mow around it. I couldn't do it. So I got the old weed whacker. And I'm trying to get as close to this web as I can to cut my grass. And there was like 5 different anchors, and I got through 4 of them. And I was on the last anchor, and I got a little too close, and I got the web caught in the weed whacker, and it destroyed the whole thing. And you could say that I got a little upset, and I got a little mad. It wasn't called for. I do apologize. So to my wife, if you're listening to this, I am sorry that I got mad about that spider web. And I'm also apologize that you're hearing this first on a podcast and not to your face. Anyway, so trick or treating is this coming weekend, and then basically what's nice about what I'm getting at here is that I was really looking forward to, even though I'm not going to complain about this warm, wonderful weather we're having, I am going to complain a itsy teeny bit because I was really looking forward to like sweatshirt weather. Okay, sweatshirt weather is where I shine because even though I'm losing weight, even though I'm I'm winning the contest. You all know that. But I still feel a little bit more comfortable when I just got the old baggy sweatshirt on, and I can't, I just can't pull it out yet. But I'm also I'm looking forward to, having the comfy sweatshirt on, drinking some apple cider, sitting by a fire, and we really haven't been able to do that yet. So I don't know. It's weird. This is a weird season. Huh? Climate change, whatever you want to call it. I don't know where you stand on climate change. I don't know where you stand. But I am going to say that I think there's something to say about it. I mean, there is something to say about it. Like I wish I should do more research on the topic of climate change because I don't know. Like, we don't get snow anymore, right? You don't get snow. And then when you do get snow, it's like 5 feet of snow. But then it all melts because it gets to be 60 degrees. And then everything thaws out. And then you get snow again in April. That's weird. It's October 21st. It's freaking 80 degrees outside. That's weird. I just miss my 4 seasons. I just want my 4 seasons so badly. I just want a summer, and I want a fall, and I want a winter, and I want a spring. Oh, what would I do for a spring? And I don't know. We're not getting it, so I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. There's got to be something going on. You know what I mean? There's got to be something going on. And I wish somebody a lot smarter would tell me without getting all angry about it. Jesus Christ. So that being said, the holiday season has officially started in our household, and I'm going all out this year. I'm going to what I do for a living is kind of a seasonal job-ish, if you will. I do work year-round. But I definitely put more hours in the summer, and my season is coming. There's about like 4 weeks left, and then I'm gonna have a lot of time on my hands, and I'm gonna do 2 things with that time. Actually, I'm gonna do a lot of things, but the 2 big ones are I'm gonna put a little bit more effort into this podcast, like legit, like take notes, for example, like actually just sit down and like write out what I'm gonna say, and try to get some guests on the show. Have more time to actually do it. So hopefully in the winter months here, you're going to have an even better Ordinary Average Guy podcast show. But another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down, I'm going to go on the internet, I'm going to get some newspapers, local magazines, whatever, and I'm going to try to come up with a schedule for all the things we can do this holiday season, right? Looking at the light, there's light shows that we can go to. There's we up in Green Bay, they have the train museum. They used to have the Polar Express show. Like, we do all this stuff, fun stuff, and there's the villages around here have like nights, Christmas stuff. We're just gonna have a kick-ass holiday season. You're hearing it first. Here. We're going to have an awesome holiday season. Happy holidays. Happy holiday. You know what I should do is get those lights up on the roof. Might be a little early. I'm not going to turn them on. All right? Don't get your panties in a bunch here. Not going to turn them on. I mean, it is 80 degrees outside. A guy should maybe put his lights up. Huh. Maybe I should do that. Instead of freezing my tail off trying to get the lights up, in the middle of November when Mother Nature is, on her period and it's really cold outside. But I don't know. I got a lot of stuff to do. For example, I'm so far behind. I just finished. So I do woodworking. I've said it before. I'll say it a million more times. I'm a woodworker, and I'm kind of good at it. Yeah, there it is. I'll pat my back a little bit. I think I'm kind of good at it. I don't have the time to do it. As a matter of fact, I'm literally just finishing this year's Mother's Day present. And yes, Mother's Day was quite a while ago. I had the presents kind of made enough to show my wife, like, hey, this is what we did. But I didn't quite put the cherry on top, right? So I'm wrapping that up, and I'm almost done with that. I was actually was working on it this evening, and then I realized I had to come down here and do this podcast. So hopefully I have some more time to do that as well. Alrighty. This week's episode is brought to you, speaking of holidays, this week's episode is brought to you by Real Christmas Trees. Real Christmas trees. Do you like going to bed at night thinking, ooh, is my house going to burn down? Well, if you enjoy having that stress and anxiety, get yourself a real Christmas tree this holiday season. And so you can, is anything better than coming home and smelling for those 2 or 3 days the pine tree in your house, and the smell and the wonderful feeling of lighting up that Christmas tree at nighttime when you sit in your chair with your favorite cup of chamomile tea. Oh, real Christmas trees, ladies and gentlemen, that's where it's at. Keep the tradition alive by going and supporting your local tree farm, cutting down your own Christmas tree with your bare hands and your saw that you never use until you get a Christmas tree. Real Christmas Trees is this week's sponsor. Thank you very much, Real Christmas Trees, for sponsoring this week's episode. We do truly appreciate it. All right, well, let's get into some emails. And before we start that off, I do want to remind everybody that you can find me on Facebook. Oh, that's another thing I'm going to do this winter, is maybe do a little bit more, like try to get on Facebook a little bit more and do more and try to get out there a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of proud of myself. I'm really not going on Facebook a lot. I truly am not going on there a lot. I'm not going on Snapchat a lot. I have an Instagram account, which I don't go on there either. I've never been on TikTok. I'll be honest with you. What I'm about to say here is that I'm proud of myself for not going on that stuff so much, right? Because that's such an addiction, and you're on there all the time. Now, my wife would say, well, you're on your phone all the goddamn time, which I'm not going to say is false. YouTube. Oh, man, that just gets me. YouTube, man. Watch a lot of YouTube. Woodworking videos, taking care of my lawn, try to do some barbecuing in the backyard, right? I got a smoker, watching videos on that. Now I'm, watching all these political videos, so watching them. And so I got to get off of that, which is funny because I'm trying to become a content person, but I'm also trying to not look at content, which is difficult. But this winter, hopefully maybe I'll have some time to maybe make some content. I want to back in the day when I was younger, I used to make videos and put them on Facebook, and they're kind of funny. They're funny videos. I was, back when I was a comedian. And this is before everybody started doing it, right? Like Charlie Barron's, the You Betcha guy. None of that stuff was a thing. I was the first one. I mean, not the first one, but I was one of the first ones. And then we just stopped doing it. But I have some ideas for some stuff like that, and Hopefully we can do that this winter. What I really want to I need an iPad though. And I don't have. I think I want an iPad, or I need an iPad, and I just don't have one. So I'm hoping to get one for Christmas. I don't know about you guys, but I still write a Christmas list out every year. 36 years old, I still. This is what I want for Christmas. Give it to my mom and dad. Give it to my in-laws. Give it to everybody. This is what I want for Christmas, and I expect to get it. Because there's some stuff. No matter how old I get, there's some stuff that I just will not buy. There's some stuff that I will not buy because I know, or I hope, that I will get it for Christmas. For example, socks and underwear. I do not remember the last time I have personally ever bought socks or underwear. Never. I mean, I just don't buy them. I get it for Christmas. Last year, I don't think I got any socks and underwear, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm running low because my wife has this, like if there's a hole in my sock, she throws it away. She throws the sock away. Now, I don't like wearing socks with holes in it. I don't like it at all. But you can't, I mean, she's throwing all these socks away. I don't really have any socks left. So I'm running really low here, and I told her, I said, hey, you gotta stop throwing this shit away because I don't have any socks left, and I'm really low on. The other day, I did throw a pair of underwear away. Because there was a hole, and I don't know. I mean, when I put the underwear on, the hole wasn't there, but when I took them off, I could see that it was starting. I had a pair of underwear. I put them on. And I could see that, in between because I wore boxer briefs. So I could see that, where where my taint sits. It was starting, it was holding on to a thread. When I took the underwear off, there was a hole. And let's just say that hole was so big, you could probably fit a watermelon through that hole. And I was tempted to throw the underwear into the laundry, hoping that it would be my wife that picked them out of the basket because we fold our clothes. She folds the clothes. I fold the clothes, but sometimes we fold the clothes together. And I was really hoping that she was going to pick them out of the basket and see that big hole, and then she would yell at me and call me disgusting and all that stuff. But, so note to self, if anyone's out there buying me any Christmas presents this year, I do need socks and underwear badly. I'm running low. And I have OCD, so I don't like wearing mismatched socks, but I have been doing it because, like I said, she throws a sock away. Well, the thing about socks is there's a pair of socks. So when you throw one sock away, now you have a lowly sock. So now I got all these mismatched socks, and I've got to wear these mismatched socks. And as a person with, I think I have maybe a minor case or a full blown case of OCD, and it's driving me nuts. So socks and underwear and an iPad I need this Christmas, among other things. So. That's another thing I got to do when things slow down here at work is get my Christmas list all set. And you think, I don't know, how old is too old to write a Christmas list? Well, send me an email at jkennoag@outlook.com or find me on Facebook at The Ordinary Average Guy Podcast Show and send me a message on there. Okay? As John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your podcast can do for you, but what you can do for your podcast. All right? He said that, not me. He said that. Speaking of emails, speaking of messages, we got a message here from Ben. Dear J-Kenn, keep up the good work on the podcast. Thank you, man. Just curious as to when you got in the pocket of Big Pharma. Obviously, this is in regards to last week's episode. CPAP machines, nose cleaning machines, prescription drugs, quote-unquote vitamins. Sounds like someone has been slipping you money for this podcast. hopefully you can sever those ties before leading this great state back to glory. Ben, P.S. If you want some deer liver this fall, let me know. Okay, first off, we'll start from your last thing there is, yeah, sure. Last week I talked about how good liver is for you. And that I actually bought some and I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it at all, to be honest with you. A little, what the fuck am I trying to say here? A little fact, I guess. Interesting tidbit. Polar bears. If you ate a polar bear liver, you would immediately throw up with how many vitamins are in the liver of a polar bear. Ain't that something? Isn't that interesting? My doctor told me that, huh? Yeah. Then he charged me $25, but he told me that. As for this other stuff, man, I'm not in no one's pocket. I'm not telling you to take prescription. I did say that. I did say take prescription drugs, and that Flonase deal. The only reason, okay, if anything, I'm screwing the system here because you can either go buy Flonase at an expensive price or you get a prescription and you can get Flonase for a lot cheaper, and your insurance company might, should hopefully cover a good portion of it. So you're welcome. As for nose cleaning machines, dude, I'm just telling you. I'm not in anyone's pocket yet, and I just tell you what I believe in. Okay, CPAP machines. Did I say anything about CPAP machines last week? I don't remember, but if I could have, because I do have a CPAP machine. And would I absolutely love to get rid of it? Yes. Do I wish I needed it? No. Am I happy I have it though? 100%. I was diagnosed with a mild case of sleep apnea, and they're like, you have it bad enough where you should get a CPAP machine. I got one. It's been over a year now, I believe. I think it was a year in April that I had it, and I do get good sleep with it. I don't know what to tell you. I get really good sleep with it. I get really good sleep, and I don't feel like a bag of shit the next morning. Well, I kind of still do, but not. That's for a lot of reasons. But I can honestly tell you that I'm not in the pocket of big pharma. Like I said before, screw anything big pharma, all of it, especially big box stores. So yeah, I can tell you right now that when in a couple of years when I run for governor of the great state of Wisconsin, make Wisconsin great again, Mowaga. That's my slogan, Mowaga. Yeah, let's see if we can find something else. But I can tell you that I will be in no one's pocket, besides the fine donors that will give me tens and tens of dollars to win the governorship. But I'm telling you, and like I said about vitamins, I'm not telling you to take a bunch of vitamins. There's just a few that I would, because, okay, first and foremost, you should try to get your vitamins through your food, right? Get your vitamins through food. Because you can do it. Like, that's why I talked about liver. And something else fish for omega-3s and stuff. And you can eat yogurt, get your probiotics. You can get your vitamins through food, but there's just a couple of vitamins that I just really want to make sure. I really want to make sure that I'm getting them. Vitamin D, magnesium, zinc, and what's the other one I was talking about? I have it upstairs. What the hell is it? Magnesium, zinc, vitamin D. Oh, vitamin B, energy. And so I just want to make sure I'm getting them, man. I just want to make sure I'm getting them, so I take those vitamins. A while ago, I was eating multi-grain Cheerios Because if you look on that nutritional facts, they have like every vitamin you need is in multi-grain Cheerios. But then I learned a little bit more about like the sugar and all that stuff, and it's like that all that sugar is in there too. And I don't want to be eating all that sugar. I don't want to be eating all those carbs. So it's just kind of, it's difficult to get them from your food. So like that's why I say, and that's why I eat the liver like once a month. When I get on that kick, or try to eat fish once a week if I can afford it. But yeah, so I'm not telling you, because I know people that take like handfuls of vitamins. It's like, dude, don't do that. Just take a couple that you really want, that you really should get, and do your own research. So there, Ben, Dick. All right, let's see if we have any emails. Let's see if we have any emails here. Oh yeah, we talked about that one. That was from last week. All right. Okay, hold on a second. I got another email here, and I probably should have looked at this first. This is from an anonymous email, but Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous, when you send me emails, can you please make sure that your text is not white? Okay? I don't know why you're doing this, but the text is white. So I just had to forward this to myself, but I had to change the text. I don't know why you're doing that. I don't know if it's an accident. I don't know. I'm assuming it's an accident, but make sure that your text is not white when sending emails, please. Okay. Hi, original, ordinary average guy. So I have noticed since after COVID, I am hiding if I have a cold in public. Okay. I'm sure a lot of people are. Growing up, I think it was normal to tough out sickness and only stay home if I felt like I was dying. Now I feel like if I sneeze or cough once, I quickly say I have allergies or something. Today, I'm out and about and I'm congested and noticed I've been feeling like I'm committing a crime all day. What are your thoughts on staying home when sick, and to what degree? I need to get shit done still. Signed, Anonymous. Oh, I see why you signed it anonymously. I don't know about the rest of you, but I feel like that COVID stuff has kind of not really been such a big thing right now. I remember back in the day, man, when you were sick, you still went to work. And if you called in, like especially where I worked, whereas like, the good old boys, you got to work, work comes first. I do feel like it has kind of come back to that. I think it must depend on where you work or the people that you hang out with, because I know a lot of people that, let me think about this for a second. Here's the deal. The good, this is my honest to God opinion. If there was one, everything that happens in life, there's a good and, there could be a lot of bad, could be a lot of good, but no matter what happens, there's a little bit of the opposite, right? So COVID, a lot of bad. But there were some good things that came out of COVID. For example, think about it. Working, teams, right? Zoom meetings, stuff like that. I think about all the stupid meetings that I had to drive to back in the day, and stuff that I had to go and be in person at, and the amount of time that was wasted just like driving somewhere to sit in some stupid meeting. And then ever since COVID, people realize, like, we don't have to do this. Let's just get on the computer and just talk on the computer, or let's just do it on the internet. There's a lot, like a lot of stuff like that. So that was like a good thing that happened. A lot of, not every position has this, but some positions where, hey, if you don't feel good, work from home kind of thing. And that's something that is you can do. But I think there is one thing, because I never really did like even before COVID, when someone was sick and they were at work, even though that's kind of what you did back in the day, you had to fight through it. I never did like that. I was like, why, dude? You're breathing all over me. You're coughing up a storm. You got a snot rag everywhere. Like, go get away from me. And I think that's one good thing about COVID. One good thing that happened out of COVID is that people are like, hey, dude, I'm sick. Like, I'm sick. I'm not coming around you anymore. Now, I think some people might take advantage of that, because there's like, oh, come on. You just come and visit. We had a party, and you're not going to come because you're sick? Bullshit. But here's the deal. I think that you should be your own judge of that. And that if you are truly sick, COVID or not, because no one wants to get a cold. Maybe not everyone's, taking as much zinc as I am, right? And no one wants a cold. So if you are truly sick, tell yourself, hey, I'm sick. I don't want to get anyone else sick. I'm staying home. But if you're not really that sick and you just have like a sneeze and stuff like that, I'm going to tell you right here, right now, don't let what other people think bother you about that. Because sneezing or you have a tickle in your throat and coughing, we're past that. There was a time, I remember going through it where you would sneeze or cough, and you'd be like, oh my God, everyone's looking at me. I don't recall getting those looks anymore. And I sneeze every now and then, just like the rest of us, or have a tickle in my throat and you got a cough. I just don't think that, if someone, put it this way, if someone is going to get all up in your business because you sneezed or you had a cough, screw them. Screw them. Not a big deal. Everyone sneezes, everyone coughs. That's a part of life, especially if you do have allergies, which, we do. And maybe you're not doing, maybe you should invest in a Navage. Maybe you should invest in a Navage and get some Flonase from your doctor so insurance covers it, and take your Zysol, and you wouldn't have that problem. But seriously, I think we're past that. And I sneeze and I don't know. People don't look at me like that. But it is funny. Like, I went to Walmart the other day, I think, and someone was walking around with a mask on. And it's like, dude, seriously? You're doing the mask thing still? I saw a person driving their car the other day, all by themselves in the car, which we saw a million times a couple of years ago. And now they're driving in the car by themselves. They had a mask on. It's like, oh, my God. You know what? Who needs those people in your life? Who needs them? So that's my answer to your question. Don't let it bother you. Do not let it bother you, because the majority of the people, normal people anyway, they're past that. All right, COVID's in the rearview mirror. They don't want to get sick. So like, if you're truly absolutely sick, yes, stay home. Stay home. And work from home if you can, or just take the day off and get better. Because you don't want to get other people sick. But if you just have, like you say, a sneeze every now and then or a cough, people got to remember that's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. And if you have someone that's giving you a bad case about that, dude, in the nicest way possible, tell them to fuck off. All right? You heard it there first. And I'm going to be the governor of the state here. And I'm telling you that here. So believe me, you don't need those people. Well, I mean, I don't want to say that, because who knows? Maybe it's like your best friend or someone, or your cousin or grandma. I don't know, but just be like, just tell them, relax, and I'll tell you what. After about a week, you will rewire your brain enough where that it won't bother you as much anymore. At the beginning, it's gonna bother you, but after a while, it'll just be like, okay, all right, I'm done with this, and it'll get better. It'll get easier. It's gonna get easier. It'll get easier. I promise you. But thank you very much for the question. I appreciate it. I hope I helped you out with it. I really do. I really do, because I went through that too. I went through a little stage of that, especially like if you're at a doctor's office. Like we went and I took my kids to the doctor, and I remember I sneezed or something. I was like, oh my god, and it's like whatever. A sneeze is a sneeze, no big deal. So thank you very much for your questions. Again, J-Kenn, OAG at Outlook.com, and the Ordinary Average Guy podcast show on Facebook. And remember, ask not what your podcast can do for you, but what you can do for your podcast. All right, now we're going to get into the unordinary opinion of the show. And I don't know how much you guys are thinking about this or not. I don't even know if it's that popular really anymore, but it's kind of a twofer. This is going to go into the song of the week. But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2024, right? The inductees, right? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, because it might be a popular opinion, but I don't think people talk about it as much as they should. But why is it that certain people and certain bands are being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when they're not rock and roll? And this is what I'm getting at. So, the 2024 inductees of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame: Mary J. Blige, whatever the hell her name is, right? I know her. She's not rock and roll. Cher is number 2. Cher. Okay? Nothing against Cher. She's got a hell of a voice. And I'm pretty sure this ain't Sonny and Cher. Like the old, this is just Cher. And I'm pretty sure she had like a number 1 hit in like 4 decades or something, like the only person to ever do that. So God bless her. The Dave Matthews Band. Dude, I'm a Dave fan. Okay? I've seen Dave. I'm such a Dave Matthews Band fan that I don't even call it Dave Matthews Band. I just say Dave. I'm a fan, okay? But is it rock and roll? Is it rock and roll? No. The next band, Foreigner. Okay. This makes more sense to me. Foreigner. Jukebox Heroes got stars in it. That was my favorite song for the longest time in my life. Jukebox Hero. That is a Windows Down, Radio Up song. Jukebox Hero by Foreigner. So yeah. Okay, now that makes sense. Peter Frampton. All right. Okay, this starts to make a little bit more sense. But now we got Kool and the Gang. Kool and the Gang. What in the hell? Why are they on here? A Tribe Called Quest. Again, nothing against them, but this is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And now we got Ozzy Osbourne. Okay, this makes more sense. I am a huge Ozzy Osbourne fan. Ozzy Osbourne was my favorite solo artist / band. He was my first favorite artist. Okay, now you'll hear me talk about Pearl Jam, Rush when I got a little older, but Ozzy is definitely number 3, and sometimes he's even tied with those other 2. Because I'll be honest with you, when I can listen to I'm not gonna get into it, but that makes sense to me. So my unpopular opinion is, you have a country music Hall of Fame. Who's in that? I don't know. Country singers, right? I don't know if there's a hip-hop Hall of Fame or not, but if there was, I would probably guess that there's hip-hop artists in the Hall of Fame. This is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I feel like they just don't even like rock and roll. It makes no sense. So then we go down here, and then there's some other awards that they gave out. The Musical Excellence Award, okay? First one here, I don't even know who the hell 4 of these. First one's Jimmy Buffett. Well, okay, I like Jimmy Buffett. I married into a family that that's their religion, is Jimmy Buffett for some reason. My son is like a Jimmy Buffett. Hell, I had Song of the Week was Jimmy Buffett a couple weeks ago. But is he rock and roll? He's not. He's not rock and roll. MC5, okay, that makes sense. Dionne Warwick, I don't even know who that is. Norman Whitfield, Musical Influence Award. I don't know who any of these people are. Alex Corner, maybe I should look into these people. John Mayall, he's playing guitar. Big Mama Thornton, I don't know. I just don't get it. I just don't understand. Like, and here's a perfect example. Ozzy Osbourne, like, I think you need to be out. I think you have to have, is it like 20 or 25 years? Right? So, well, like Pearl Jam, for example, I think it was like their 20th year, like the first year that they were able to be inducted, they got inducted, right? Nirvana, bands like that. But like Rush, for example, they got inducted, but it was like way late in their careers, way late. Like they should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, and they weren't. Ozzy Osbourne, now he's in the Hall of Fame with Black Sabbath, but Ozzy's been around forever. He started his solo career in the early 80s. Like he should have been in this goddamn Hall of Fame in like 2000. And it's 2020. It's been like 50 years, 45 years. I'm not here to do math. All I'm saying is that it was too long. And he's like he is the guy that damn near invented rock and roll. Yeah, I mean, people want to say Elvis Presley did, but literally, Ozzy Osbourne, I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to go out on a limb. Now, I don't know how many people here enjoy rock and roll or heavy metal or anything like that. I'm not saying that that's for everybody. But if it wasn't for Ozzy Osbourne, music would not be what it is today, especially when it comes to rock and roll. It would not. Think of all the band. Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne were the first ever heavy metal band. Okay, so you wouldn't have Metallica. You wouldn't have Megadeth. I don't even know if you would have Van Halen. I don't know if you would have these bands. Would you have had glam metal in the 80s? Like the Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses. Would you have had all these bands if it wasn't for Ozzy? And to go even further, Black Sabbath. I don't think you would have them. You wouldn't have them. So why is? It's just my opinion. The most important person the most important person in rock and roll history being inducted when he's 20 years after when he could have been. Someone please answer that question for me. Now, I'm not saying, maybe you don't like Ozzy Osbourne. Maybe you don't. He eats bats. Yeah, sure shit he does. Because that's rock and roll, bro. That's rock and roll, dude. I don't know. If anyone from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is listening to this, please tell me why. Please tell me why you just refuse to just celebrate rock and roll. Okay? Nothing against any of these other people, but it's not rock and roll. Okay? Again, I like the Dave Matthews Band. I've seen Dave and Tim Reynolds by themselves, man. I'm into it. I'm just saying, it's not rock and roll, man. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. Like I said, this is an unordinary opinion. That's whatever. That's all I'm going to say. Song of the Week in honor of Ozzy Osbourne being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 20 years too late. We're going to do an Ozzy song. And I'm not going to do Crazy Train. I'm not going back to Black Sabbath. I'm not doing Iron Man. I'm doing, there's two songs that I wanted to pick here, so we're going to do them both, right? My show, my rules, right? And they are both Actually, no, we're not doing them both. Runner up. We're going to do runner up. No More Tears. Ozzy Osbourne. No More Tears is the runner up. It's a popular song. You've heard it a million times on the radio. Fantastic tune. No more tears, but down. That bass line is killer. But the next song, dude, when you hear this song, play it. If it's a beautiful day tomorrow, and maybe this ain't your thing or whatever, but listen to it anyway. Crank that radio up as loud as it goes and roll the windows down and go down the highway with this blaring and just go, woo! Because it's a banger. The song is Perry Mason. That's the song of the week. Perry Mason, off of the Osmosis record, I believe, in like 1994 or 5 or something like that. I want to say it came out. That song is so cool. Okay? It is so cool. And yeah, man, it's just a good old-fashioned hard rock song, man. And the guitars, everything is fantastic on it. So I'm telling you right now, roll those windows down, crank up that radio, and jam out to Perry Mason until, as long as you can, until Mother Nature turns her back at us and gives us the 20-degree weather. That it's right around the corner. I don't have to tell you, it's right around the corner. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is this week's podcast. Thank you so much for staying tuned. I'm just gonna ask you, if you think I deserved it, hit the like button or subscribe or hit something. Whatever button you see, hit it, as long as it's not a bad one. And then, hell, if you want, write like a comment or something, be like, this guy rocks, or something like that. But yeah, that's it, man. So, and also, as I say, if you guys have ideas for like people I should have on for guests, like obviously I'm not going to get like anyone big, but like if you have topics, I have a couple guys and women that I want on the show. My sister, talk about hobbies. I got a buddy, he's real into like weightlifting and shit. I got a buddy who's a professional wrestler. I have a friend who's a professional wrestler. Like I know people that do some stuff. So if you have ideas, like, and I'm not saying I could, do it for you, but at least help me get the wheels turning or something. So anyway, that's the episode. Thank you so much for listening this long, and have a great, fantastic week. Later.